Lane. I'd like to call the Dearborn Board of Education meeting of June 23rd, 2014 to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Adams?
Here.
Trustee Guido?
Here.
Trustee Lane? Here. Trustee McDonald?
Here.
Trustee Shell is here. Trustee Schoolmaster?
Here.
President Barry?
Here.
Next item, Pledge of Allegiance. President Barry will lead in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance.
Wait.
Pam was getting up.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scared.
You're quick on the
I know, he scared me too.
Something fell or
My
something.
fault, sorry.
Next item,
Give
please.
that man a certificate. It took me a second. Superintendent's update, agenda items.
Agenda items, we do have 3 retirements of 20 or more years. You have Barb Cataldo for Bryant with 27 1/3 years. You have Mark Wells, Dearborn art teacher, 23 years. And Shammy White, Department of Social Work, 23 years. Also, tonight I'll be presenting, Sam and I will be presenting on the budget, but I did want to say that the group of 150 districts today met that only got $50 per pupil. Those those 150 school districts only got $50 per pupil, and we are working on some strategy to go back to the legislature for additional funding. So we'll be working with the board and parents and the community on that. Okay, and then obviously I'd want an expression of sympathy for Harold Bailey, who was custodial A at Salina, passed away June 15th. So if we could have a moment of silence for Mr. Bailey.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item, please.
Citizen participation.
I have none.
Oh, I'm sorry, non-agenda items.
Sorry, non-agenda items, I have 3 very quickly. One is I was on a conference call representing the state of Michigan today with the Department of Governmental, GO. I'll come up with their name in a minute. Government Operations, or, yes. Representing the state of Michigan on the issue of moving towards Common Core and national, the test that comes along with that. We were one of the pilot districts, so we reviewed the things that worked well, things that didn't work well in the test. We also talked about our concerns about having a new test and having it count towards accrediting or rating or comparing schools, and that first year of the test, we shouldn't be doing that, use that as a base year. We also talked about the fact that ELL students, that right now, if they're in the country or in the district 1 full academic year, the test counts, and we suggested at least 2 full academic years on that. Most of the country was still very supportive. We don't know where we're heading in the state of Michigan yet. Certainly the department is supposed to be coming up with a MEP-like test for next year and then put out for bid for the following year. So we're still moving ahead with the Common Core and being prepared to do that. Just want to remind people there is an August election, not for Dearborn schools, but the Wayne Risa millage is asking voters for 2 mills. That is not Dearborn related, although Dearborn does get $7.5 million if that millage passes. So I just want to remind people of the August election. But the election that it is very important to Dearborn is the November election, in which we will have our 18 mill and 6.12 or whatever mills renewed for our hold harmless and non-homestead. And that will be on the November election, and that's more like $40 million for the district, so that's very important. It's not a tax increase. The November election is not a tax increase because it's just a renewal of the current mills. That's it, Amy. Thank you.
How many years would that?
Yep.
Sorry.
Trustee Lane?
No, Trustee Adams was it.
I just forgotten. How many years will that millage be for?
The Wayne Risa?
No, ours.
Ours is a 10-year. Sam,
10-year.
10-year millage, right? For the
Ours is 10 year, that's
Yep.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Lane?
Superintendent Whiston, on the proposal to the Department of Education, you said the state, or you on behalf of the state schools, suggested a 2-year proposal to not test or to wait?
No, we would test them still.
Test, but
the
not
grades would
have
not
it calculated in. Why was 2 years, is that a compromise proposal, because anyone who knows anything about learning another language, and we're talking about written language, we're not even not just talking about spoken comprehension. 2 years is not enough to become fluent in another language, definitely not writing, especially when you're talking about different systems like Arabic to English or Cyrillic to English. It's almost laughable linguistically. So was that just a compromise? Because I think most people would say that 5 years would be more realistic.
The according to the Department of Education, 5 to 7 years is the norm, right?
Yeah, 5 at a minimum.
Right. So we had proposed to the state, when the state superintendent visited us, several of you were at the visit, we talked to him about 3 years, not counting for 3 years. The department wouldn't support 3, but they said they would support 2. And so I was.
The State Department of Education would not support 3. Is that a political calculus, or is it just a straight-up weighing of all of the districts in the state? Because
To be honest,
most
I'm
of
not
them
sure.
don't have a large number of bilingual, because it's.
Well, a lot of the districts do around Michigan,
Metropolitan.
actually, because of farming and that.
Especially
There's
in
West Michigan. So we have a lot more ELL students, second language students, than people think in the state.
But when you're
It's
talking romantic languages versus,
correct.
you know, I
It's a
mean,
little bit
it's,
different.
not that, I mean, I took 2 years of French and I still can't say anything, and I can't imagine taking a test in French. But it is a little bit more of the same type of system versus, you know, Chinese or Arabic or,
So we had asked for 3 years. The department came back and said if we mentioned 2, they would be supportive. It is the Department of Ed that has to make the final recommendation to the Fed, so I guess I just went with their.
It really is an important issue, because particularly as we see the number of second language learners in schools, and that number is increasing rather than decreasing, so.
Oh, yes. No,
It's just not a realistic measure.
don't disagree.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Citizen participation, citizens wishing to address the board on an agenda or non-agenda items for action who are signed in by 7:10 by submitting a blue card to the secretary may speak at this time. I have no blue cards.
Next item, please.
Approval of minutes. Approval of the minutes of the following Board of Education meetings. Regular P12 meeting, June 9, 2014. Board Report 13-174. Recommended action, make any necessary corrections, and move approval of these minutes.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion support. Any corrections, questions? If there are no objections, motion will carry. Thank you. Next item, please.
Recognition and acknowledgements, commendations, we do not have any. B, acknowledgement of donations.
We have 2, a donation of 5 sculptures of musical instruments created by the Fender Bender Project has been offered to Dearborn Public Schools by Karen Holland to be displayed at various schools. And a donation of 30 chairs, 5 desks, and 10 filing cabinets have been offered to Bryant Middle School by Nicole Mark of Charlie Chabana, Mark Chevrolet, to be used throughout the building. It was worded a little differently, sorry about that. That's it.
Any
Anything
other?
Next item, please.
Special report, school aid passed by legislature and budget impact. Mr. Brian Whiston.
I know they're working on technology now and trying to get that report lifted, but you do have it in front of you, and I'm going to go ahead. And if we do get it up, we can add it to the visual part. But as you know, the governor, the legislature has passed its budget, sent it to the governor. The governor has till this Thursday to sign the bill, and all indications are that he will sign the bill. So just to give the community a brief update, best practices. Last year, we got $52 per pupil. This year, we're going to get $50, so that's a cut of $2. Performance, we got $30 because of our test scores. Next year, we're scheduled to get the same 30, so no change there. Foundation allowance is going up $50 from $83.62 to $84.12. That's a $50 increase, so you take the 50 increase and the $2 cut in best practices, that's a net of $48 new dollars to the district. So with the right hand, they're going to give us $48. Then in the left hand, they're taking about 1% away from us, estimated to be about $54 per pupil in additional mandated costs from the state of Michigan that we have no say in. They just tell us how much we owe and we pay it. So if they're going to give us $48 with one hand, they're going to take away $54 with the other. So the net impact to us, as you can see on the screen now, is a negative $6. So,
But they increased funding.
you know, that's the thing. When I was at Rotary and everybody's sitting around the table, Sam was there at the lunch, and they were celebrating the fact we were getting new money. So I said to one of the businessmen, I reached in, gave him a $50 bill and told him to give me 60. And he goes, why? And I said, well, that's what happened to me. He goes, well, that's not new money. And I said, I don't think so either. Not that we're not appreciative that we're getting the 48 new dollars, because if we weren't getting that, we'd even be in deeper trouble. But the net impact of what they're giving us and what they're taking away is roughly an estimate of negative $6 per pupil.
Well, it's a big statement as to where the legislature puts children in this state. When retirees get $195 million in Detroit and school kids get nothing.
And furthermore, sorry, trustee Scholastic.
Oh, no, I just wanted to mention, it was reported to me that Dr. Artis told Mr. Whiston and a group of community members that he had $40 million and 1,000 fewer students during the period of time that he was superintendent. So we've been cut $40 million and 1,000 students have been added.
And we're constantly compared to the rest of the world, and we get scourged for not doing well on tests compared to other countries, but other countries fund their students at well above $8,500 per year. And in fact, in the United States, other states are funding their students better than we are. So we are below average, and yet we're expected to perform above average. Those things are not meeting. It's not right.
Okay, so your next slide is best practices.
We are just sickened by this,
Well, I'm
Brian.
sickened
And
by
I know
it,
that
too.
you are too, and I know that our representative is sickened by it too. He
I'm
did all
almost
that.
speechless.
Yeah, he did all that's possible, and so, you know, for us to contact our representatives,
Our senator and rep were both with us throughout the battle.
thank you.
But again, we're not done. We're going back for more funding. We're going to be working with the board and the community, along with those other 150 districts that just got $50.
How many districts total are in the state? You know,
That's
approximately?
that's a moving number because of charter schools,
Can you
but
give me approximate?
Around 500.
Yeah, but there's like 250
Then 250 charters on top of that.
Charter, oh, on
Yeah.
top of it.
like 550
Yeah.
traditional, 250 charter
Okay.
would be a good estimate.
Mr. Whiston, could you talk about the increase in retirement a little bit so that, you know, the individuals listening to this can understand? I know when I started the board, Amy, Mary, it was around 12.5% that we paid, is that correct?
Yeah, I think when I came to the district, it was around 12.99, roughly 13%. Well, meaning every dollar of payroll, we paid 13 cents to the state on retirement. It's now, well, Sam, you give the correct numbers.
Absolutely. It's actually, we're paying right now closer to 26% with this proposed 1% increase. But in total, they also give us revenue, the state gives us revenue to help offset some of the increases. But in total, it's actually closer to a 34% rate. But again, we're covering almost 26% ourselves as a district. Yes,
Is that because the pension's underfunded?
that is correct.
Okay, so the Detroit pension's underfunded, and
And
the
the
state
legislature.
paid to fund that so that they're funded. But the teacher's pension is underfunded, and we have to take care of that ourselves.
The children
employees are-
have
Just
to
wanted
pay
to
it.
clarify.
The children
Yeah, the
have to
children
pay
have
it.
to pay for it.
Yes.
Right. So what Sam is saying is what we used to pay $13 million for, and it's now $34 million, of which we pay 26, and the state pays about the other 8. That's correct. So yeah, that's a lot of money that used to go to the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
that-
Double.
That doesn't.
Double the
That's what
money.
we get for doing what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
Maybe if we sat on our hands
Sorry
and
to
didn't
interrupt
do
you, but-
anything, then
No,
the
know,
state would
I'm
come
glad to
and
see
They'll
save
let
us.
us
you feel the frustration, we feel the
frustrated.
frustrated, yes, absolutely. Our employees are frustrated, I mean, it's all of us. So best practices, we have to meet 7 of the 9, I'll run through them real quickly. Act as policyholder on insurance, we currently meet that, so that's not an issue. Competitively bid one non-instructional, we do that every year anyway, so we can meet that one. Participate in schools of choice, we can open up a couple classes at Long or Nowlin. Online dashboard, we're currently meeting that unless they make changes. Merit pay, we're not currently meeting, but we can. We've talked about using some of the funds from the millage if it passes to do that. Comply with prohibited subjects of bargaining. Dearborn does that. We were the leader. You'll remember we got our contract before those items were really even an issue, and we've done a good job there. Implementation of the Michigan Competitive Guidance and Counseling Program. We don't have the detail of what that is, but I've been told it's virtually no district can meet it because of the numbers. Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm sorry, it's just,
Right.
it's kind of like set your budget even though we're not going to tell you how much money you're going to get.
Right.
So they put this out there, but we don't
We
really
don't know what it
it
means
is.
to meet it yet.
Oh, okay,
Correct.
that's excellent.
Great.
Online learning, we provide that, so we're okay there. Foreign language credit of at least 1 credits in K through 8, and we can meet that. We had already been working on a program to do that, so we should be able to meet 8 of the 9 anyway.
So that's to get the $2 less than we
that's
were
to-
already getting?
Correct.
Okay.
And as we've talked as a board, each year they change these.
Yes.
And each year we have to jump through new hoops in order to get the best practices. And a
And
few
there's
of these
not.
may be best practice, but a lot of them are political. All right, so the net budget impact, I'll let Sam run through these.
Sure, it's really the $1.8 million budget cut that we need to produce. We, again, budgeted originally $83 back in March of this year. It's only going to be a $50 increase. Again, the net impact in total with all of the funding sources is going to be approximately a negative $6 per pupil. And we have higher costs associated with next year. Obviously, $250,000 allotted for assessment. $220,000 allotted to increase natural gas costs for the district. We have some unfunded title positions from Title I and Title III that we're going to need to cover in the general fund. We have an increase in building and site, as I mentioned about 2 weeks ago, actually, of $150,000. And then we have our new ACE and STEM programs at the new Heights campus for $100,000. And then, again, primarily in our secondary, we have 14 teaching positions, which we are adding as well.
So the budget that will be presented tonight is the same one we presented last week, meaning we're going to have to come back with a plan to cut the $1.8 million. And we're working on that as a team, Sam, I, and the cabinet. So the budget you're going to adopt tonight is $1.8 million out of balance, and we will be coming back in the early part of the school year to rectify that.
Any questions? Trustee Adams?
The unfunded title positions, we're still required even though they're not funding, and what are those?
We are, the Title I and Title III positions, I know that Title III is obviously a bilingual position. The specifics for Title I cannot recall at this particular moment, but I can get with Kathleen in the morning and actually send you all an email of what that particular position or positions are. I think
But
there's
we're
approximately
required?
2 positions total, 2 FTE.
I don't know that we're required, but we believe we should do it.
Oh,
I think it's better to say we believe it's the right thing to do with the number of.
Even though they're not going to fund them? Okay, that's fine.
I can get you that detail, though, in the morning. I will do that.
That's okay. That explanation's good enough. Thank you.
Any other questions? Next item, please.
I shouldn't comment, so I won't, because I don't have anything nice to say.
Not about my
Not about,
presentation or
not about
Sam or
your
I.
presentation or about you, but
It's
it
the
just,
legislature. I
it
just
really
want to clarify
pains
that.
me that they spent so much time getting our hopes up that they were gonna fund education, and then we took the conservative approach only
did.
to be slapped in the face.
That's correct.
I mean, I thought that our budget was very conservative, considering the talks that were happening, and the end result is just unbelievable to me. In my 14 years, it's just still unbelievable to me that they would do this to education, but sorry, I'll stop. Next item.
Matter of
Please.
priorities, huh?
Yeah. Action items, special consideration of an action item. Are there any agenda items on this agenda that board members or the superintendent wish to discuss and vote on separately? If there are, we will exclude these from the motion below. And please note, there is a supplement number 15, and there's also a supplement to number 12 and number 6. But I don't know if any of them have, Sam,
Yeah.
were there any on here that require board? Because there's, yes.
The line of credit, I believe, was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that the line
Thank
of
you.
credit might. And that
Does
is-
anyone besides me feel that for the sake of a voice vote, number 9 should be a roll call?
We can do that.
Yep,
Let me go ahead and pull number 9. and
so number 2 and number 9.
It's,
I just think it makes a
Yep.
statement.
that's fine. Okay.
I agree. And I do have to say that I think this is the shortest list of teacher layoffs that we've had in the 14
Can't
years that I've
believe
been on the
that.
board.
That's what I said,
That's
one.
what Pam was just saying.
Amazing. Okay, so recommended action, move that action items numbered 1 through 15 be approved as recommended in this agenda with the exception of number 2 and 9.
So moved.
Support?
Motion, support. Are there any questions? Any objections? Motion carries.
Summary.
Summaries, please.
Number 1, approval of warrants, which are items for payment by the district and have been reviewed by the administration. Number 3, approval of the purchase of computer-related equipment, and software licenses. Number 4, approval of RFPs for district-wide network upgrade. Number 5 through 8, approval of non-instructional and instructional personnel items for P12. Number 10, approval of 2013-2014 final budget revisions. 11, approval of 2014-15 budget, general fund, debt retirement, food service, and adult education. Number 12, approval of layoff of P12 teachers. Number 13, I'm sorry, I thought I called the wrong one. Number 13, approval of Dearborn Heights District 7 transportation agreement. Number 14, approval of donations. 15, approval of district-wide wireless structured cabling.
Okay, thank you. Let's go back to number 2, please.
2, approval of sale of line of credit to low interest rate bidder. And there is no recommended action on here. for-
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
it's right.
supplement. It's there.
Sorry. Recommended action, move that the board approve the resolution accepting low interest rate bid on the 2014-15 line of credit as per board report 13-182.
So moved.
Support?
We have a motion, support. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adams?
Yes.
Trustee Guido?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Lane? Trustee McDonald?
Yes.
Trustee Shellis, yes. Trustee Schoolmaster?
Yes.
President Barry?
Yes. Item 9, please.
I'm like all flustered today. It's that stupid
Going too
funding
fast for
issue.
you?
It's that funding. It's just got me all worked up. Approval of the naming of the Dearborn Heights campus. Recommended action, move that the board approve the naming of the college of the Dearborn, the name of the College of the Dearborn Heights campus to Dearborn Public Schools Heights Campus.
So moved.
Support.
Motion, support.
Yeah, that
Roll
was
call
kind of
vote.
strange.
Yeah, that
Yeah, that
wording-
was kind of
That
strange.
wording was weird.
Yeah,
That's
sorry,
right.
that's why I stumbled on it a little bit.
But it's the Dearborn Heights.
The Dearborn Heights, yeah, the naming of, take out,
We're changing it
The
from
college.
the college.
Dearborn Public Schools Heights Campus.
yes, so the
Correct.
campus to Dearborn Public Schools Heights Campus.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adams?
Yes.
Trustee Guido?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee McDonald?
Yes.
Trustee Schoolmaster?
Yes.
Trustee Shellis, yes. President Barry?
Yes.
I skipped myself.
Next item, please. Discussion item.
Discussion items.
None.
Acknowledgement of correspondence.
We received a letter from Pete Rickinger about our move.
To how? Or from how?
The-
Oh, I didn't see that, did I?
Oh, you
It
didn't?
was an email. We'll forward it to you.
We'll forward it to you.
Pretty. Wasn't pretty.
Maybe I didn't.
It may have been, I've been gone and maybe I missed it.
But that's all that I can remember.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the
that's
only
all
one.
I got.
Okay, next item, please.
Board of Education Business, Board Member Committee and Organization Reports.
Did building and site maintenance.
We haven't had any meetings.
Oh.
No.
We met as the entire board in evaluation.
Yeah.
still-
The president
We're still in
evaluation
process. We
committee.
had
Process
to,
right now, so.
we had to recess our closed session with the superintendent's evaluation, and it'll continue after this meeting. So we will have a report at the next board meeting.
Correct. Next item, please.
Board member commentary,
Next item.
I think some of us have done that already.
request for information and/or future agenda items.
Trustee Shellis.
I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time, but I thought I would throw it out there. Something that I've thought about for a while, and I know that I've talked with a few board members about their thoughts on the idea, but I would like to have a discussion item at some point in the future with the entire board about going to, from our 2 board meeting a month format to a 1 meeting per month format. I think that in the past, the reason for this basically boiled down to accounts payable and us needing to approve those expenses, but I think that with some perhaps better planning, we could overcome that issue. I don't personally see any reason why we can't get the board's business done in one meeting a month. You know, maybe occasionally we need to call for a special session. I have no problem with that, but I personally would like to see us have one K-12 meeting a month and one college meeting a month.
Do you want to look at?
we vote on that now?
This discussion?
You're not going to get any arguments here.
No, thank you, because, it'll be a discussion item next month or a month after, but gives
I mean, we
the
do it in the
community
summertime.
time to react and time to communicate with us. And one of the things that I think that you mentioned is that many of the reports that are contained in the meetings that we feel are important to educate our constituents can be on Channel 19 anyway.
Yeah.
Just because we don't have just because we
What
have
do
a
you-
board meeting doesn't mean that we can't have reports on certain
What
things.
Jim's referring to is the idea that, because there is a lot of good information that happens at our meetings, but only the people who are watching our board meetings see it, and not everybody watches our board meeting. So we had talked about the concept of either using students that are in the video program, or even setting up a room somewhere locally where the different departments or different programs can do a 5-minute presentation that we could put on our website, so that parents and students could, alphabetically look through them and see, what reports they want to hear or what programs they want to hear more about.
And we do that throughout the year, so we just probably need to do a better job of
Yeah.
telling the board we're doing it.
Right.
But we do a superintendent show or a testing
seen those
show,
on there,
or we update people on important issues that are coming out.
But I mean, even like the MEP results that we
Yep.
get, instead of having them present necessarily at the board meeting, we could have those presentations done in 5-minute or, 15-minute sessions, and then have it available on our website, our Facebook page, and things like that, to overcome some of those reports. And I think that it could be viewed by more of the wider public that way.
I know Comcast carries Channel 19 and all.
So does Huawei.
I have AT&T and I can't get them.
Oh, okay, Huawei does
So,
have the,
there are some carriers that citizens won't be able to see them. So.
well, they wouldn't see them at our board meetings either.
You could stream it on
I was going to say. Oh, okay, okay,
Go to our website.
okay,
And
Yeah.
watch the Channel 19 24/7.
okay.
It's streamed right there, and the schedule is right underneath it.
And if
Okay,
they
great.
couldn't get Channel
I
19,
was
they
just
aren't
gonna
seeing our
say,
board
we can
meetings
make it
either.
available another way for.
Mr. Guido?
I think this is something we've talked about from time to time, and we're never sure if it would work out. So I just would still certainly be in favor of at least a trial period, see if it works. And if it doesn't, we can always go back to the 2-meeting-a-month schedule. But I'm very confident that if we're careful, we can get through the
Out of the 12
business
months,
at
there's
hand.
3 or 4 months we do it anyway.
Yeah.
We do it during the summer, we do it sometimes in
In
the
December.
February, March, April, and December. So there's,
I mean, and nothing that we do as far as our board meetings is permanent anyways. We could have a meeting every day if we wanted to. There's nothing stopping us. Not that I would do it.
I'd stop you.
But I just mean
I
that,
didn't hear that.
it's
not hear
not,
I don't want to hear that.
if we did,
But you're right.
one meeting a month and we had to hold a special meeting, I would just my concern was, I wouldn't want us to get into the habit of having last-minute special meetings. I think that we should still be able to give enough time to the public to let them know a week in advance if we need to hold a special meeting for something. But I don't see why we can't get our business done in one meeting.
agreed.
To be continued.
Yeah.
Anything else under requests?
You don't want to call for a vote?
Well, I thought we were going to
No, I'm
visit.
just kidding.
I've already voted.
Joe was like, can we vote on it now?
That's what I was
I
doing.
thought he
When
was
I
gonna
raised
call
my
for a
hand, I
vote.
was
Yeah, he was voting yes.
Yes. No,
No, I think Jim made a very valid point. We want to give our constituents.
Yes. Oh,
and
no,
parents,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback. We'll take it from there. Okay, next item, please.
Superintendent reports.
None.
Next item.
Future meeting dates, Monday, July 14th, 2014, P12 Board of Education meeting, 7 PM at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom. Monday, July 21st, 2014, HFC meeting, 7 PM at the Andrew Mazzara Service and Conference Center in the Rosno Boardroom, Henry Ford College. Monday, August 18th, 2014, HFC meeting, 7 PM at the Andrew Mazzara Service and Conference Center in the Rosno Boardroom, Henry Ford College. Monday, August 25th, P12 Board of Education meeting, 7 PM at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom.
This
That's
meeting is
it.
adjourned. Thank you.
And then Darlene and I are going to be babysitting Elin.
I think Joe
Yep.
has.
Yeah, what was?
I think